On May 15, 2025, TNA Wrestling presented another dynamic episode of iMPACT from Irvine, California, delivering a lineup that blended the return of familiar faces, the continued elevation of new stars, and crucial storyline developments ahead of the upcoming Under Siege pay-per-view. With legends like Jeff Hardy and newcomers like Indy Hartwell in the mix, this episode highlighted the promotion's commitment to evolution while paying tribute to its roots. Here's an in-depth look at the major matches, moments, and implications for TNA's immediate future. Main event: Jeff Hardy vs. Nick Nemeth. The main event of the night was a symbolic clash between two generational workhorses, Jeff Hardy and Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler in WWE. This was their first televised singles match in 16 years, and the emotional weight of that history loomed over every bump and near fall. Jeff Hardy, ever the enigma, entered the match with the spirit of a man seeking redemption, not just for a recent tag title loss at Rebellion, but for the past decade of personal and professional ups and downs. Nick Nemeth, flanked by his brother Ryan, carried the smug confidence of a champion who knows the numbers are in his favor. Their chemistry was undeniable. The early goings showcased Hardy's familiar offense, leg drops, flying clotheslines, and his signature whisper in the wind, while Nemeth's counter-heavy strategy emphasized mat wrestling and opportunistic attacks. The storytelling was nuanced. Nemeth was the man with youth on his side, while Hardy had experience and grit. The turning point came when Hardy nailed a twist of fate and ascended the ropes for the Swanton Bomb. Ryan Nemeth's distraction caused a crucial delay, and when Hardy finally leapt, Nick rolled away, delivering a devastating zigzag for the win. Post-match, the Nemeths attempted a beatdown, but Matt Hardy rushed in for the save, leading to the announcement: at Under Siege, Matt Hardy will challenge the Nemeths with a mystery partner for the TNA Tag Team Championship. The segment ended with Matt looking to the crowd, hinting at a potential surprise ally, perhaps even someone from AEW or New Japan. Great. This match delivered a strong emotional payoff and perfectly built toward the next chapter of this heated rivalry. While Hardy's loss stings, it adds to the narrative of his uphill climb. Masha Slamovich and Nikita Lyons vs. Victoria Crawford and Tessa Blanchard in a compelling showcase for the Knockouts division. Reigning champion Masha Slamovich teamed up with NXT export Nikita Lyons against former WWE star Victoria Crawford in the polarizing Tessa Blanchard. The match felt like a generational gauntlet. Two rising stars versus two veterans still hungry to prove their worth. Nikita Lyons impressed in her TNA tag debut, demonstrating both athleticism and charisma. A strong crowd reaction solidified her as a future contender for the Knockouts Championship. Meanwhile, Slamovich remained the focal point, exuding the quiet dominance that has made her title reign so memorable. Crawford played her deputy director of authority role to perfection, barking orders and manipulating the ref. Tessa brought raw intensity, throwing stiff elbows and executing an avalanche codebreaker on Lyons that nearly ended the match. But Slamovich's resilience prevailed. She locked in the snowplow on Crawford, sealing the victory for her team. Post-match tension simmered as Lyons gestured at the championship, signaling her desire for a title shot. Slamovich offered a smirk, perhaps a silent approval or a subtle warning. Grade B+. The match delivered physicality and layered storytelling. Lyons entering the Knockouts title scene is a refreshing direction, and having Slamovich face fresh opponents elevates both her and the division. The Rascals versus the Great Hands. The Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, were once the beating heart of TNA's tag division. After a brief lull, this match served as a statement win. Their opponents, the Great Hands, a newly repackaged duo known for their amateur backgrounds and classic style, provided a unique challenge. This bout was a blend of styles. The Rascals' fluid, high-octane aerial offense clashing with the traditional grappling of the Great Hands. It started with Wentz getting isolated early on, allowing the Great Hands to slow the pace. But the tide turned when Miguel entered the ring, hitting a moonsault, DDT combination that brought the crowd to life. A series of tandem finishers ended it, culminating in the hot fire flame for the pin. The Rascals cut a promo afterward, declaring their intent to challenge the tag champions after Under Siege, regardless of who holds the belts. Grade B, though not the flashiest match of the night, it delivered on pacing and purpose. The Rascals remain TNA's most dynamic duo, and putting them back in the title hunt is a logical move. Knockout Showcase: Shaw Brookside vs. Rosemary in another strong addition to the women's card. Shaw Brookside took on the Gothic warrior Rosemary. The match was brief but impactful. Shaw brought her British technical style, contrasting Rosemary's eerie, erratic approach. Rosemary attempted to dominate early, using mind games and ground-and-pound tactics. Shaw, however, was persistent. After escaping the Red Wedding twice, she rolled up Rosemary in a small package for a surprise win. Afterward, Rosemary teased a darker transformation, disappearing into the crowd while muttering cryptic phrases about decay and rebirth. Could this be a new version of her character ahead of Under Siege? Grade B, short and effective. Brookside's momentum builds while Rosemary's descent into darkness offers intriguing possibilities. Matt Cardona vs. Ace Austin vs. Mance Warner vs. Elijah. The midcard erupted with this wild four-way match, featuring four very different personalities all gunning for a shot at the International Championship. Mance Warner's wild brawling, Elijah's agility, Cardona's star presence, and Austin's craft made for a chaotic and captivating affair. Each man had a moment to shine. Mance hit a lariat that sent Cardona over the top rope. Austin delivered a Fosbury flop to the outside, and Elijah scored several flash pin attempts. But it was Cardona, ever the opportunist, who snatched the victory with radio silence after Warner took out Austin with a chair outside. Cardona now heads to Under Siege to face the international champion, currently Rich Swann, with a renewed sense of direction and swagger. Indy Hartwell makes TNA debut. Indy Hartwell's long-awaited TNA debut was more a statement than a match. Her opponent, independent wrestler Shelley Shaw, served as a sacrificial lamb to Hartwell's fury. After a spinebuster and an elbow drop from the second rope, Hartwell scored a clean win in under 3 minutes. In a post-match interview, she claimed she wasn't here to blend in or play nice. Her eyes are set on the Knockouts title, and she sent a direct message to Masha Slamovich. Grade B as a squash, this worked perfectly. Hartwell felt like a star from the moment she walked out, and her debut adds even more depth to a stacked Knockouts roster. Kazarian's Under Siege address. TNA veteran Frankie Kazarian took to the ring to discuss his role at Under Siege. The promo began as a reflection on his journey through TNA, his evolution as a competitor, and his desire to reclaim gold. He was interrupted by a returning Eric Young, who mocked Kazarian's sentimentality and challenged him to a match at Under Siege. A brawl broke out, leaving Kazarian bloodied and defiant. Young stood tall, declaring, "I've waited too long for TNA to get real again, and that starts with you." Grade: a compelling promo and surprise return. Young vs. Kazarian is a veteran's dream match that could steal the show at Under Siege. Building toward Under Siege 2025, this episode did an excellent job laying the groundwork for Under Siege, which airs May 24, 2025. With new title challengers emerging across divisions, personal grudges intensifying, and a few open-ended mysteries. Final thoughts. TNA Impact, on May 15, 2025, was a smartly booked show filled with variety, strong pacing, and meaningful character progression. There's a sense of urgency and cohesion in the product. Stories are evolving logically, and the mix of veterans and rising stars makes the roster feel deep and dynamic. The return of Jeff Hardy to the main event scene, the rise of Indy Hartwell and Nikita Lyons, and the bubbling tension between the Hardys and Nemeths are all indicators that TNA's creative engine is firing on all cylinders heading into Under Siege.